Man, y'all better leave that white kitty alone. I mean, that white kitty be tempting you. I mean, and sometimes it's hard to refuse, and I get it. But that white kitty is either going to ruin your life or it's going to have you somewhere in a coffin, dead way too soon. And they done came for America's dad and they got him. Yeah, Bill Cosby was led away in handcuffs yesterday. First of all, let me make it clear that the purpose of this video is not to drag Bill Cosby, and it's not to praise Bill Cosby either. I am not clowning him, just proving a point. Ain't no love lost when it comes to that little white kitty. Especially if you're trying to get that little white kitty some of that chocolate.
Pudding pops, frozen pudding on a stick.
And it's even extra when that pudding pop is attached to some cake, if you know what I mean. But basically, Bill Cosby lived as a man of leisure in the late 50s, 1960s, early 70s, and through the 80s. Of course, we all know about the 80s, the Cosby Show. And before that, through the 1970s, he had a series of movies. He had a successful TV show, and that show was with a white guy named Robert Culp, and it was called I Spy. And that was from the late 60s into the 70s. I mean, Bill Cosby was that dude. All through the 60s and from the early 50s, he would hang out with people like Hugh Hefner, and he was living as a man of leisure. He had a lot of comedy specials on TV. Sold out a lot of arenas. My point is, he spent a long time building his brand. And he hosted game shows, things like that. And he became, quote unquote, America's dad. He was so popular that, every spectrum of the rainbow in this country knew who Bill Cosby was and actually liked the guy. From what they could see, his public image was top notch, A1. They began calling him America's dad, Mr. Huxtable, Dr. Huxtable. And 30 years later, he's pretty much being led away in handcuffs to do 3 to 10 in the state pen. When they come for you, they come for you. And they'll use a lot of different vehicles to do it. That white kitty is one of the vehicles they use. That's why I'm saying, I gotta tell y'all again, that white kitty, it don't love you, it don't mean you no good, it will have you dead or in prison or just on drugs and your life fucked up. It seems that one way or another, the powers that be in this system, you know what system I'm talking about, they always come for you. So, tap dancing and shining shoes, it turns out that does not pay off in the end when it's all said and done. I know a lot of people in the black community that had a lot against Bill Cosby. They didn't like how he would come out and say, pull your pants up, and, the pound cake speech and all this stuff. And he's always lecturing black people and all that. But, his one mistake was he liked that white kitty a little too much. You can't be petting that little white kitty. I like that. Now, I had the white kitty tempt me a few times before in the past. This one particular time, and it went kind of like this. I was just lounging at home, and I got a phone call. I said, hello? Hello, Dominique? I said, yeah, who's this? This is Shannon. Shannon from work. I said, oh yeah, Santa from work. What's up with you? Oh, nothing. I just would like you to come over. That's all. I said, come over? What about your parents? Oh, they went to sleep. They're in the next room. They went to sleep early, and they won't hear a thing. We don't have to open the front door. You can just sneak in my window. And don't worry about it because, if you need gas money or something, I'll give it to you. You can have whatever you want. When you leave, I can give you my ATM card. It's all good. And you can take as much money as you want. I don't mind. I really don't mind. Y'all think I didn't ride down on that real quick? I went for it, but only because I was naive and young, man. That happened when I was like 18 years old. Didn't get caught, but could have. So, I learned better. And so, the way we ended up with Bill Cosby in chains and going to jail is because the ramifications of messing with that white cat can reach through a lifetime. And that's what I'm talking about. Because, Bill Cosby had a lot of faults, but one thing he did do was maintain his family, his wife, and his kids. And he didn't get strung out on drugs. He wasn't known for any of this other behavior, like running around the streets like some of these comedians do now, looking half crazy. He wasn't doing all of that. So, he had the image of being a family man, even though he was dipping in that white cat every so often. But he was known as a family man. So, one of the things with Bill Cosby, there actually was a controversy around his son. His son died. Ennis. His son's name was Ennis. And he died kind of mysteriously. I think it was in 1997, January. And he was murdered on the side of the road. And it was some really, really suspicious things going on with that. It was a white guy, some guy that murdered him and didn't appear to rob him or anything. And his car, you hear these things about the son. Bill Cosby's son's car had tires on it that would reinflate when they get a flat. So the whole thing was he got a flat on the side of the road. He was 28 years old or something like that. And then he had a daughter. His daughter died earlier this year, I think, of complications with her kidney. His daughter was 44. So the guy's been through some things in his life. Now he's going to prison for 3 to 10 years. And while you got Bill Cosby going through this trial and now headed off to prison, you also had at the same time Matt Lauer and Bill O'Reilly coercing for the kitty, threatening them chicks jobs if they don't give it up. You had Charlie Sheen endangering women's lives for the kitty, hot dicking and not telling them chicks he has HIV. And you got people like Roman Polanski and Stephen Collins cradle robbing for the kitty. Screwing them underage girls that don't know no better. And you got sick bastard number one, Harvey Weinstein, power pushing for the kitty, promising all kinds of movie roles and recording contracts if you just cooperate, get down on your knees. I'm just saying, why none of them ain't headed to jail? Just a thought. And the final thought for the day: when y'all gonna leave that white kitty alone? Yeah, this is where we are. But let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. I kind of see it like we let people get in positions of power in this country that have done things in the past. We let them become governors and senators and president and mayors and all this, when in the past they've had addictions to cocaine, and people who've smoked weed, and people who, well, some of them have smoked it but not inhaled. Then people who've had alcohol problems have been, in office. So I kind of think this is kind of unfair. I mean, also you got to look at that back in the 1970s and 60s and 80s, people were doing a lot of things that we consider inappropriate nowadays. It wasn't a big deal to slip a Mickey in some girl's drink that liked you. It just wasn't. I'm not defending Bill Cosby, but are we gonna now retroactively go back and let people renege on the decisions that they made at that time when they were engaging in all this stuff? That seems to be it's just ridiculous and it's crazy. So what have we learned from this? I think one thing is pretty clear. That white kitty don't love y'all, bros. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. Please take the time out to like and subscribe and maybe leave a comment below. All right, it's your man DX and I'm out.